The story opens with an immediate and jarring contrast. Jane Clever's weary resignation and financial strain, her threadbare velvet, the anxious calculation of her next shift's pay, set against the gleaming, heartless opulence of the Chateau Élysée ballroom, a place that broadcasts generational wealth. Jane finds herself cornered near a service entrance, the perfect spot for the invisible. Her ex-fiancé, Michael, finds her and, under the gaze of his new, judgmental clique, delivers a devastating public dismissal. He points out that her dedication to her daughter, Ella, and her work as a nurse is what doomed her to poverty, calling her the ghost of the life I escaped. Jane is left defenseless, tears stinging her eyes. In that exact moment of crushing defeat, the ballroom floor seems to part. Jasper Thompson, whose tailored, obsidian black suit looks like armor, and whose expression is one of cold, absolute authority, halts directly in front of her. His eyes, dark and assessing, hold hers. He doesn't ask. He leans in, his voice a low, gravelly command that cuts through the music. You're my wife for the rest of the evening, and you will not look away from me. Dance now. Do you dare to dance with the devil? She was invisible, humiliated, alone, then the Mafia boss saw her. One command changed everything. Pretend you're my wife and dance with me now. Do you dare to dance with the devil? She was invisible. Humiliated. Alone. Then the Mafia boss saw her. One command changed everything. Pretend you're my wife and dance with me now. It was supposed to be one night of intoxicating pretense. But when his dark empire targets the innocent little girl who calls her a mom, the fake marriage becomes a real-life fight for survival. Can a fierce single mom survive being claimed by the most dangerous man in the city? Dive into Jane and Jasper's world of opulent danger, absolute control, and burning, protective love. Like, subscribe, and share this story if you love a hero who claims his woman and burns the world for her. Read the full story. Jasper's grip on Jane's waist was possessive, steel-forged and demanding. It was the only thing holding her upright against the shock of his command. They were gliding across the marble floor, weaving through the glittering crowds. Look at me, Jane, he ordered, his voice a low vibration against her ear. Smile. Look grateful. Look like you belong to me. She forced a tremulous smile. When she finally looked up, she saw Michael's face, a mask of furious, bewildered confusion. It was the ultimate reversal of her humiliation. As the song ended, Jasper pulled her closer. A flawless performance, wife, he murmured. That little act of defiance from your ex was useful. It confirmed my need for you to be seen as occupied. The arrangement is for 3 weeks. Jane's breath hitched. I can't. I have my daughter. Your daughter is why you must, Jasper countered, his voice chillingly absolute. You are now marked as mine. And if you walk away now, you walk away unprotected. Think about Ella. 3 weeks of protection. After that, we both get what we need. She realized the safety of her old life was already gone. A distraction, he replied to her question, a grim smile touching his lips. And the image of a man who has something pure to lose. 2 days passed in uneasy silence. Jane was peeling potatoes for dinner when her phone buzzed with an untraceable message. It was a single, high-resolution photograph of Ella at the park, laughing on a swing. Below the photo was a single line of text, sweet girl. Looks just like her mother. Pity if she were to be misplaced. Jane dropped the knife and snatched up the burner number Jasper had given her. They know, Jane choked out. They know about Ella. They sent me a picture. A dead silence stretched across the line. It's at the Serpent, Jasper stated, his diagnosis chillingly final. Arrival. They are testing the bounds of my protection. You are now leverage. I need 5 minutes. Pack a single small bag for yourself and Ella. The game is over, Jane. Welcome to the real world. Jane moved through her small apartment on autopilot, adrenaline surging. She was about to leave to retrieve Ella from her friend's house when the burner phone rang. Stop. Jasper's command was a physical jolt. You are compromised. Do you see a blue sedan parked across the street near the sycamore tree? Jane crept to the window and confirmed the tinted vehicle. Those aren't my men, Jane. They were waiting for you to leave. They want to grab you both and put you in a cage to hurt me." He calmed her, explaining his security chief, Marco, was already at Sarah's house, posing as a delivery driver, to secure Ella. Minutes later, Marco called, confirming he had Ella and instructing Jane to watch for a man in a dark gray uniform approaching her building. "He's the distraction," Marco said. "Look for the black Escalade pulling up to the back service alley. Be there in 60 seconds. You will find your daughter in the vehicle." The threat was no longer fictional, it was a cold, calculated attempt to snatch her child. Jane slipped out her back door, running for her life. The black Escalade drove them through the night, depositing them at the Jasper Thompson penthouse, a secure observation deck with floor-to-ceiling glass and bulletproof windows. Jasper was waiting, his relief fleeting. "This is not a vacation," he stated. "This is a secure facility. You will not leave, Jane. Not to shop. Not to run. Not to work." Jane protested, refusing to lose her nursing job. "Your life, as you knew it, is over, Jane," Jasper replied, his voice unyielding. "I have arranged for a specialist to cover your shifts. You are on paid leave, indefinitely. I control your finances now. This is the only way to keep you alive. You have no choice." His control was absolute, yet terrifyingly competent. Jane looked at Ella's sleeping face and nodded. She was a prisoner, but her daughter was safe. Life in the penthouse settled into a tense, surreal routine. While Jane worked remotely, Ella was thriving. Jane often found Jasper, the Mafia boss, on the floor, patiently helping 5-year-old Ella with a jigsaw puzzle. "This piece," he said, his powerful, ringed hand gently tapping a corner, "it only fits the corner piece. You have to understand the boundaries, Piccola." As he guided her small hand, Jane saw the cold calculation in his gaze replaced by a strange, focused tenderness. He was becoming Ella's ally, offering a stability and kindness Jane hadn't realized she craved. The lines between the fake arrangement and real feelings were rapidly dissolving. She was falling for the monster, and the monster seemed to be embracing the small, bright part of her world. The confinement was starting to erode Jane's spirit, and she demanded to return to useful work. Jasper offered a compromise in his study. "I have a man, a key lieutenant, who was recently injured. He has an acute medical issue, something that requires a careful, discreet hand." He pulled an encrypted file across the desk. "It's ethically challenging. It's highly illegal. You performed this one medical service for me, successfully and discreetly, and I will allow you to work remotely on my charity medical foundations. It's your test, Jane. A test of loyalty, discretion, and willingness to enter my world." Jane knew the procedure, but performing it in an unconventional environment on a gangster was crossing a clear line. She stared at the file, then back at the man who held her safety. "Tell me where to go. And tell me what instruments I will need." Jane executed the procedure flawlessly. Jasper, true to his word, rewarded her with remote work. Then he eliminated the last psychological threat. Jane received a cease and desist order from a powerful law firm, attached to a document of closure for Michael's business and a voluntarily signed document from Michael, relinquishing all parental rights to Ella and agreeing to pay all child support in a single, impossible lump sum. "I protected my future family, Jane," Jasper said, his decision final. "Your ex-fiancé is a petty parasite." His silence was purchased with his business and his freedom. The last connection to your old, shaming life is officially severed. Jane felt a dizzying mix of horror at his power and relief at her new, permanent peace. 3 weeks in, Jane arranged a meeting at a neutral cafe, intending to help Jasper with a sensitive asset retrieval. She walked into a trap. A woman, a lieutenant for the Serpent, blocked the exit. "We want him weak." "And you are his weakness," the woman sneered, pulling a concealed blade. Before the knife could strike, the cafe doors exploded inward. Jasper stormed through, his jacket unbuttoned, his face a mask of primal, protective rage. "Touch her, and I will bury you so deep, your family will forget your name," he roared. The fight was brutal and short. Jasper moved with lethal efficiency, neutralizing his opponents. When he finally held Jane, he was shaking. "You disobeyed me," he bit out, his voice raw. "You almost got yourself killed. I will not lose you to my darkness. The attack cemented his commitment with a torrent of violence and absolute protective power. A week later, Jasper insisted Jane attend a closed-door meeting with the rival Moretti family, who viewed her as his weakness. They will test your breeding, your loyalty, and your worth, he warned. Jane walked in on Jasper's arm. When Silvio Moretti addressed her with a patronizing tone, Jane stepped forward. I understand the nature of consequences, Mr. Moretti, she said, her voice clear and steady. I understand the absolute necessity of discretion. And when there is a weakness, I know precisely how to suture it, legally and permanently. My husband understands this. Which is why I am here. A stunned silence fell. Jasper smiled, a slow, lethal expression. He realized Jane was not his weakness, but his strategic asset. The power dynamic had shifted completely, and Jane had found her voice and her power within his world. The final agreement was due. Jasper took Jane and Ella back to the Grand Marquis Ballroom, the site of their beginning, now booked for a private gala. Halfway through the evening, Jasper tapped the microphone. Many of you know I prefer my life private, he told the silent room. But I have lived without a proper foundation. I am tired of the pretense. He took Jane's hand. The agreement is over. You are not my pretend wife, Jane. You are my wife. Jane Thompson. This is not a proposal, it is a declaration. I offer you and your daughter everything real, my name, my protection, and my family. You are the foundation of my life. Jane didn't hesitate. She had gone from being a victim to the ultimate protected partner. I accept, she whispered, rising on her toes to meet his protective, conquering kiss. She had transformed from an invisible single mother into the visible, untouchable first lady of his empire, having found a powerful kind of safety and love she never knew existed.